Welcome back. This is D-Dung, and Trog is the best, so we'll be casting that tomorrow.
Nice! I'm looking forward to it. That's actually the first time me casting a Korean League match, if you will.
I think same for me. I mean, same for me, obviously. We have never had the chance before, as we head into Towers of Doom. No Braxis yet, but there is still hope if BTG can take this game at number 4.
Yeah, everything is on the line now for BTG, obviously. This is their last chance to make something happen. Match point for TheOne. We're going to Towers of Doom. All right, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for some BOE action, maybe some Braxis shenanigans. But Towers of Doom will do. TheOne actually dominated SPT earlier on that battleground, so that's pretty cool to see how they're slowly starting to find their strengths. Let's put it this way.
Exactly. BTG taking their time with their first ban this round. They seemed to struggle earlier, so gonna ban out the Phoenix this time.
I mean, do you remember what Kenshi did to SPT there, especially Lucky?
Yes, I do.
I think it's a fair ban, yeah.
Kenshi got the game. He actually got the MVP while you were away.
Yeah. Oh, really? Did he? Nice.
Yes,
and I
did,
agree. That Hanzo was so sick. Like, once again, I think that was probably one of the most accurate Hanzos I've ever seen. Barely missing any skill shots.
Exactly, I would agree. He did miss a Dragon Arrow or two, but most of them were from super far away, so you can be forgiven for that. As we see the Decade banned out. Will TheOne fall into the trap, or well, not the trap, just fall in line and just ban out the Genji? Or looking about something else, they ban out the Genji.
Gotta go for it. Can't blame them. Tyrande, man, she's back in the hands of BTG. She's just tossed over back and forth, and whichever team ends up playing here in this series at least ends up winning. So that's pretty cool to see. Second time in a row.
Now then, what are we going to see in response? TheOne can now leave their support until a little bit later because they still have plenty of options. So at first tank, so Diablo quite likely. Nah, they're going to start with Yorel stealing that away because they couldn't ban it. Very smart by BTG.
Very smart.
Steal away, so TheOne outsmarting them this time, and they pick up the Cassia again.
Ah, this is so cheeky. Saving a ban here because they would realize, you know what? As good as Yorel is, and as much as Locktar loves to play on her, it's still not first pick material, right? When there's a Diablo available, when there's an Yorel available, when there's a Tyrande available. So definitely outsmarted here, I would say, by TheOne. Super cool to see that. So Li Ming already being picked over a Jaina? That is interesting. Okay, so going for more burst damage and more reset potential. LLK is a deadly Li Ming.
I mean, resets are still pretty cool, so bringing it out here is still quite fun. Also, the abilities are a little bit harder to predict when you are up against the Yorel, for example. When you're running a Yorel, for example, if you're trying to drop an Ardent Defender, it's pretty easy once you get hit by the first wave of Blizzard to activate it for the second. Li Ming, all her combo comes at once.
Look at how BTG wants to maneuver TheOne into that Anubarak, right? Li Ming, a preemptive counter to the Cocoon. And then they ban away the Garrosh as well, which would have been Huohua's most favorite warrior at this point, I feel like. So if they were to pick Anubarak right now, guess what? Countered super hard, not only by the Diablo, who knocks him into those walls, the follow-up stuns blow him up. That's exactly what happened in game 1, but also the Cocoon getting shredded by Disintegrate.
We're going to be seeing a white main coming in as the support for TheOne, hiding their main tank, very interestingly here.
Yeah.
And the Sergeant Hammer as well. That Siege Tactics is going to have its work cut out for it, and Li Ming, maybe we'll see the return of the Seeker build.
Very true. I mean, Seeker build is great against stationary targets. Sergeant Hammer with that siege mode, very stationary at times. Also, White Mane, though, that's a lot of burst healing that they have. And more importantly, I think, Tetra, against the CC machine that BTG has fielded here, they have a cleanse now.
Yes, they do. So that's going to be really, really useful. They've got Siege Tactics, they've got Cleanse at later levels, they've got Seraphim. Aegis. So they've got that. Scarlet Aegis as well. The upgrade, the level 20 version of that is another Cleanse. So they've got plenty of options there. And now for TheOne's final pick. Who is their man? It's gotta be, right?
Yeah. Johanna, maybe.
Wrecked. Yeah, Noob would just get absolutely destroyed. Garrosh is banned away. Johanna would be the safe and boring option, but Muradin actually gives them some engaged potential, and with a caster on the board, they need that.
All right. Good thing you're not Johanna Squire. Don't you dare call her boring.
I mean, I have no Crusade jokes. I've got nothing.
We don't want to go in that territory. No.
No. I had nothing.
Certain barrels are better be left unopened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the thing is, Johanna is like crusading against the forces of hell, which means I don't have puns for it because I don't even know anything about the regular crusades.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we see a heavy aggression, a heavy CC comp for BTG, very aggressive. But can TheOne hold against that onslaught? They do have another leader of a different crusade, the Scarlet Crusade. Hooray, we're back with the Crusades. Yeah. White main to keep everybody alive. And I love the Muradin. Although it didn't really have the best success in this phase for Huhu, I think Muradin's still a great choice. Very safe, very tanky. And if I recall that correctly, there's no anti-healing to mess with his self-healing, the healing static, and the stone skin.
I'm pretty sure there's no anti-healing in this game, so I'm sure both teams will be very grateful for that. Malthael's not in, there's no Malfurion, there's no Deckard, there's no Alexstrasza, no Ana. All the anti-heal is removed. So let's see which one of these teams will be able to take our fourth game of the series. Will BTG be able to make a comeback and take us to a game 5, or are TheOne about to become HGC China champions for the first time ever? Let's find out.
Towers of Doom is that battleground here, our potential match point location for TheOne. But fighting them is none other than Beyond the Game with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Loktar.
And on the right, it is TheOne with Hugo, Kieshi, Meng, ZJZ, and Huhu.
Can we call this composition Mura's Angels? Surrounded by lovely agents all across the board.
I mean, normally I'd say yes, if it wasn't for the fact that we actually had 3 actual angels in Heroes of the Storm.
That's correct.
So I think that we will have to deny that one this time.
Very similar to the new event that is about to come to the Nexus soon with the Raven Lord and the siege of the Lady of Thorns domain. It's going to be pretty sick. Lots of new skins.
Fall of King's Crest? Is that what it's called?
King's Crest, yes.
That should be pretty cool. I am excited for it. The skins look pretty
dope. Which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite for the new skins? Zarya. Oh, yes.
Zarya the Cruel or something like that. I can't remember the exact terming.
I think I may have to agree, although I can almost never bet against an Alexstrasza skin. She's just my queen.
Oh, yeah. That one looks really cool as well. Like the soul, the ghost E looks super dope.
Wicked.
So we move them forward. BTG, this time playing a little bit more aggressively with their rotations at the start of the game. And this might actually put some pressure on Sergeant Hammer, but they're just using those aggressive rotations to buy some time for Dancing to pick off this Sapper camp.
Yeah, so I mean, I look at the team composition of TheOne, and I realize how hard to crack that one is. I mean, Sergeant Hammer, siege tactics aren't live yet, so needs to be careful. Meng, that is, I think he unsieged a little bit too late, but here comes the burst healing of White Mane, keeping him alive. Great emergency healing coming through, but that also sucked all the mana away from her.
She topped him off, though, with a little bit of clemency, so as such, she's going to be able to keep him fully healed. But with the aggression they were able to show, BTG were able to already kill off all the sappers of TheOne. Now they just need to try and force Meng off this position before Meng finishes off the remainder of the sappers. A quick fling onto Meng, but the sappers, it is too late. They have already fallen.
Look at the blind trust coming in from Meng there as well. Not even moving, not even out unsieging, just blindly trusting his mate ZJZ to keep him alive. That High Inquisition talent, by the way, at level 4 is going to be crucial when it comes to saving mana. So Clemency or the regular Inquisition now, whenever that is applied while Desperation is up, you're going to get all the mana back, which is so important to keep her in the fight.
Then wiping out that backline of minions, so easy wave clear there being applied by Cassia. Loktar gonna try and raid this. He has reinforcements on the way. Hugo's already abandoned Muradin. Will not be so lucky. Dwarf Doss at the last second. He might escape.
Run, Muradin.
So good Stormbolt, and Huhu will escape.
Yeah, you can say actually 3 stacks of Q by ZJZ, and immediately the mana cost refunded because of Clemency. Really cool move, allows you to go for those crazy chunks of burst heal. Oh, LK didn't have an Arcane Orb.
Yeah, Meng's able to escape this time. As we're going to see a 1-for-1 trade up in top, and BTG take control of mid. So they take a core health lead at the start. Maybe they do, as Loktar gets harassed by Huohuo.
Yeah, good stun by Huohuo, evacuating that situation immediately. He realized that was the only way he could go back to safety, otherwise Diablo would have slammed him against the wall, overpowered very likely as well. So good move, although it's not done yet, not out of the danger zone yet here. BTG still lurking, looming around.
Finally he's able to escape though. ZJZ, we're just gonna melt LLK there a little bit. I'm a little bit late on that bit of armor, but is now got siege tactics online. The problem is now it's on cooldown.
Yes, that is correct. Hammer, by the way, also received some changes. Pretty important in that latest bounce patch. Can no longer use it while not in siege mode, for example. So it makes it a little more, and I think a longer cooldown to siege tactics as well. So makes it a little trickier, a little less reliable when it comes to saving him or her. Excuse me.
TheOne, they spot the invade, has to pop the armor just to get out, and as such gets hit by the stun. Quick heal from ZJZ. Keeps Meng alive, but that forces everyone off this sapper point. Meng's already been healed up, though. They're still going to try and siege this. Keshi's on the way in, as is Yrel. This is going to be a 5 versus 3 right now, as Li Ming finally going to move in position, making it a 5 versus 4. Dahaka tunneling in from behind, but 619 already dropping low. Staying alive, though. Thanks to great micro from Druid, keeping this going. Good blind, though, preventing all that healing, and Druid gets dropped super low, but Huohuo is the first to fall, and that means resets. Double kill acquired.
Double kill. I think that was a little too deep there by Huohuo. Was in no man's land. Keshi is desperately trying to survive, but he can't make it happen. A triple kill in favor of BTG, and that was not the team fight that TheOne were hoping for.
And as such, we do see BTG continuing to pile on the pressure. Finally able to take a lead. They want to drag us to a game number 5. They would love to be HGC China champions for the first time. Kendrick doing his best owl impression there as it whizzes past ZJZ, as we see them waiting to try and channel the point.
All right, they hold it. The armor is distributed here by Yrel. Nice jump. Burden gets intercepted though with that dwarf toss.
Moving back, dancing into tower range there, nearly killing himself. There's going to be Loktar who falls. Hammer's on the way. This is a 4 versus 5, remember? Yeah. And TheOne are winning it. Meg chasing down Dancing, looking for the kill, but can't get to him. 619, though, not so lucky, is dropping lower and lower and lower. Can they finish the job? Avenging Wrath for the slow finishes the kill.
And these are the moments in which you hoped you had BFG, because that probably would have been able to clean house super early for TheOne. But a great comeback by the red team here, really, you know, equalizing the experience score once again, also making sure that their own altar goes through. 32-28, only a 4 HP lead here in favor of BTG still, though. Man, what a dead even game this has become. Once again, we're entering this phase of the game in which it's just Chinese boxing. Left and right, they're just exchanging blows.
Speaking of exchanging blows, Muradin is exchanging no blows because he's eating all of them. He is, in fact, his Storm Bolt is even dodged, but it was not enough for the kill.
As long as Muradin doesn't die, it's going to be all fine and dandy, though, because he does have his trait, Second Wind. So he will be back in tip-top condition soon. Oh, Loktar tried to intercept this, the jump of Hugo, but the minion was in the way, unfortunately, there. By the way, did we highlight that Hugo is now playing Yrel? We were kind of criticizing that in the past already. He is back on that hero and seems to be doing pretty well so far, actually.
It's an excellent point. We completely missed that. He's doing a fantastic job here so far.
Whoa.
Another person, nice Fend, liking that. Another person who's doing a pretty fantastic job so far is Loktar on that Dahaka. He is struggling from time to time, but overall his rotations at least have been pretty on point every time.
Small impression of a race car Cassia there, sliding through the wall. You can do the same stuff. You can do the same trick with Varian, by the way. They share the same animation and the same mechanics on both the charge and the fend. Pretty cool to see.
Rotation down to the bot lane, BTG. They have sappers to clean up, and they will be able to do so without too much trouble.
All right, good position now for the one already. They have Sergeant Hammer online, protected by Whitemane. Every piece, I feel, for the one is in the location where they want to be in. Sergeant Hammer raining in those shots. Shadow Stalk for the healing. Triple stun by Tyrande. Big Scarlet Crusader.
That Aegis was gigantic. Keshi got Dragon Arrowed and gets taken out. The BFG with a good counter damage. And even though the kill went over to BTG, the health bars of the one look significantly better as Fountain has to be popped for all members of BTG. Meng dropping lower. Good use of siege tactics. He's able to pull back. Hugo, though, dropping low. He has to pop off the Aegis here to keep himself alive as well. On Defender is not enough. He's whittled down and taken out.
Yeah, they need to evacuate this right now. It was a big play made possible by LLK on that Li Ming. I think his Wave of Force isolated Cassia into tower and fort range, and that kill was so important for them, so crucial to victory. Without Cassia, a huge chunk of their damage is actually gone. Couldn't even use Ball Lightning, so certainly a little bit of a boo-boo here coming in for the one. They get another lockdown. Murder needs to use every tool he has. Oh my goodness.
He does, and Cassius suddenly turned into a one Amazon Wrecking Crew trying to turn it round. Ball Lightning even being used there, but it's not enough for a kill, and now that's a 50-second cooldown to wait for. 60 seconds, sorry.
Ball Lightning gone, check. Avatar gone, check. So big win for Beyond the Game with just a little bit of, you know, fake greed, I think I can call it. They forced out a couple of commitment here. A little bit of a cooldown waste for the one.
They move back across the map. They're going to keep everything alive for the moment. And so far, not bad by the one, trying to pull ahead as much as they can. While, sorry, for BTG pulling ahead as much as they can, as the one looking to try and make the next comeback. They ping in a shot, but immediately BTG take position. With level 13 not here, how aggressive will the one try to be if they attempt to raid this? Good Stormbolt. BFG actually burned dancing. This might not be an engage attempt, but it definitely forces the retreat.
It forces the retreat right there with Hanzo so close to dying that you cannot afford to actually, you know, continue this fight. So, although they were in 13 with a strong showing there near their own Merc camp, I think the one is making a statement here. They're not done just yet. They may have lost the last couple of team fights, but they're still here to stay and maybe, you know, get this match point rolling for them. 13 is here now. They fight on even terms.
Now they do, but will they be able to turn it around using this time that they are actually even for once? As the one creep forward. Sergeant Hammer armoring up, burning siege tactics though. 75 armor being applied at one point or another there, thanks to Urel's jumping as well.
Speaking of Urel here, by the way, at level 13, we see the Elder Peacekeeper. We don't see hold that thought. Never mind, big team fight happening.
Aegis is dropped, keeping everyone healthy for the moment. Ball Lightning, Cassia popping off Keshi with the first kill of the fight. Now turning it around, they get another one onto Haka. Looking for 619 now as he wants Druid or 619. Quick cleanse coming in from Druid, who was very patient here. Hugo on a Defender, armor applied, BFG onto Druid, but they can't get the finishing blow.
Oh, a big team fight win for the one. The question is, can they actually get the bottom bell tower? Maybe they do have good siege. Cassia, Sergeant Hammer, that's outstanding poke, but it looks like they're still channeling it anyways. Probably don't want to risk it and just take it all together. Hugo's already on his way back to middle and top. He's probably going to soak that. But yeah, Hugo missing a couple of skill shots there as well. And the Elder Peacekeeper at level 13 is very exotic. Whenever the Vindication is now at maximum charge and explodes, all enemy heroes hit by it deal 30% less damage. We're normally used to seeing Repentance, one of the strongest talents in the game, I feel.
That's true. It does a lot, gives you a lot of damage output as Urel, but this one
reduces
enemy's damage output, and that's going to be pretty clutch against the Li Ming, who's always going to be looking for those resets.
All right, let's see how much value the Elder Peacekeeper can do. It's a great card in Hearthstone, mind you. Part of almost any Paladin deck. Not so much these days, but it used to be. Because
it was a pretty memorable voice line. I just can't remember what it was. Muradin dives in, holding the line. Urel knocking it back and forth, trying to keep it going. 619 flips him off. There's a beautiful dragon arrow, but it's going to be Urel, the first to fall. But they keep fighting. Hammer sieging in the damage, leaving resets. Like you said, ZJZ dropping incredibly low, but trying to get the best value you can with healing tactics, but it's not enough with that reset. Li Ming secured BTG that boss.
And BTG is like, follow the rules, which is
That's the one, thank you.
Some card animation. That was such a crazy fight. Why did TheOne even commit to this against a Li Ming when the team fight didn't go so well in the beginning? I'm actually amazed that they didn't lose more members, because those resets started to kick in very early in that team fight.
I think the idea was just let Yrel knock them off the point and then just run. Hammer, though, I kind of wish he just boosted in and used knockback as well. And that way they would have had the double knockback, probably secured the boss. They didn't have to fight. They could have just hit and run.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that would have been a great replay to analyze, of course. And look at BTG. Look how confident they are. 16 to 15. Man. They just get a double turn in for sure. And they're more than willing to trade that, man. 24 to 16. That's a mighty good lead for them.
It is indeed. They once again want to take us to a game number 5 to try and secure their first HGC China Championship. TheOne, though, they're not out yet. Level 16, just around the corner. If they can get it, there it is. They can once again fight on even terms. They have not lost a bell tower a single time this game. They are more than prepared to fight. They just need to actually gain an advantage, gain multiple kills, and kill bell towers themselves.
Man, Hugo is taking a long time to decide which talent to go to or to go for. Is it the Holy Wrath? Is it the Templar's Verdict? The armor reduction after the hammer, or the extra damage after every single auto attack whenever an ability had been used before? He goes for the Holy Wrath. And I don't want to start anything here. I don't want to start speculations or anything, but this build, combined with how long he takes to actually get a talent done, it just shows to me that he doesn't feel comfortable in that hero.
It is definitely out of the ordinary, but so far it worked out keeping them alive in that last fight pretty effectively. But the question is, how will it work out continuously? Like we said, he might, if he had more damage, maybe Diablo would have died. He was low at the end of that fight, but if he hadn't taken that Aldor Peacekeeper, but maybe then Muradin would have died, who was also dropped very low in that fight. So that damage reduction, it's very much a tit for tat. Which ones you think would have gained more value, but we can't see that alternate timeline.
All right. Big important hold, though, here for TheOne. If that bell tower had gone, you know, if they had lost members before that, that would have been so hard to come back from. 2 altars are about to spawn as well, the bottom and the middle one. Question is, who's going to pull the trigger first here? Whiteman, by the way, ZJZ doing so much work over and over, really protecting his fellow team members where he can. Meng posturing up in a good position. Yrel and Dehaka, the 2 soul laners, posturing up there as well, having a little bit of a duel. But Dehaka, I think, could arrive a little sooner if he wanted to.
That's some gorgeous Keshi micro happening right now,
Keshi's
keeping himself safe.
Man.
Another siege tactics used by Meng, far in advance, eats some damage. Diablo marches forward just like you've used your self-cleanse. Now what? And as such, Hammer has to unsiege. However, top altar snuck away by TheOne. They can now put all their focus onto bot lane, but so can BTG. Quick tackle onto Keshi. This time they land the combo, but a beautiful cleanse coming out with the undefender being dropped here. Sorry, the Aegis here. As they move forward, Diablo stuns out and picks up a double.
And that is the location where Huhu wants to be, you know, surrounded by enemies, healing static, so much value. They blow up another one, a 2-for-0 trade here for TheOne when they really needed it. The question is, what can they make with it? What can they capitalize on? Are they going to try to go for that bell turret? Oh, we're going to take another look at that replay here. Great cleanse, the intercession, and a 3-4-man Scarlet Aegis really saving the day for TheOne. And we just highlighted ZJZ, man. He is on fire, making plays happen left, right, and center.
That double, triple kill coming in there was so huge. Like you said, reacting to that Diablo charge with that Scarlet Aegis. Now they're moving on to the bell tower, starting to work it down. Diablo and Li Ming and Hanzo, though, still a little bit scary, so they're being slow, waiting for this camp as well.
And Diablo, I think he lost all the souls as well. He's now back to mini form. He will be significantly easier to kill here. And Huhu is trying to make exactly that happen. Strong damage coming into that. The lightnings are balling around. And this should be the bell tower. Great win here for TheOne. With Sergeant Hammer, this location is so easy to defend now.
That it is. So very nicely done by TheOne. And finally, they have an experienced lead for the first time in a very long time. Remember, if they win this, they are going through to BlizzCon in first seed from China and will be champions for the first time ever, despite coming so close in the previous phase. The Arcane Orbs coming in, continuing to harass Hammer, who's dropped down to half health, while Keshi sneaks away another camp.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot now to be in. We mentioned that it's easy to defend that, or relatively easy to defend that with Sergeant Hammer, but still, it is currently a 3 versus 4. And whenever someone is close to that bell tower or close to a wall, that might be the golden opportunity for 619 on the Diablo to start something. Also, keep in mind that from this angle, Dehaka could come in from behind, whereas Irel needs a much longer time to actually reinforce that. Ooh, man, Meng is taking salvo after salvo from Li Ming and Hanzo. Great poke from BTG.
Orbs and missiles continuing to fly in over and over again. Dehaka, remember, has the global potential. He can just grab his side and then tunnel down if he is needed. Yrel, though, trying to sneak it. I really disagree with this. Yrel should be grabbing her side, making the most of the fact that they have the advantage. Locktar is instead going to tunnel over to the other side. You cheeky boy.
Is he going to make it in time, though?
Come in. I don't think he will, Hugo.
Oh, he did it!
He gets it. Locktar, you cheeky lizard. He's on the run now. LLK is here to assist. Keshi's dropping low, and they have to let it go because the isolation onto Hugo and Keshi getting dropped. LLK could have got the resets there, would have been terrifying. And they still come out down in terms of shots, but that was a nice cheeky play.
Yeah, there was a split-second decision Lockta had to make there, right? He was like, I probably can't hold my own against Yrel, especially not with 20 being so close. So he decided to go for a very unexpected play, stole away the altar, and also realized that reinforcements were already close enough to keep him safe and sound. So quick play, good turnaround. The bottom still hasn't been reconquered yet for BTG, so that is a little bit of a thorn in their sides. But overall, I think that was a nice play. However, the moment TheOne sees more than one member, let's say they see 2 or 3 members trying to take back bottom, they can immediately go for a boss play. So although BTG would love to take that back, they can't do so without exposing the boss.
Here comes an Archon Pure Power from LLK, raining in the pain.
No
and I expect
way.
this was likely taken to just secure bot lane because they can now take that back so much easier. But they still need the protection from the rest of the members. Looks like BTG, are they going to try and sneak a boss? Yes, they are, but there's no way. TheOne are on the way up there. They know exactly what's going on here, and this is not quick enough.
Oh, they're already taking heavy damage from the boss's abilities here. It's brought down to 50%. Looks like the teams are willing to fight over this Thatcher. This is a risky endeavor for both of them, actually, right now, because this boss hits more than any other in Heroes of the Storm.
Looks like they're just going to let it leash. Boss
I'm glad.
Dropped, but heals back up to full. Meng's auto attacks do not keep it aggroed as he was out of its vision range. Dehaka has continued split pushing bot lane, and this is starting to get tense. Stormbolt dropped in the center of the map as Whitemane is channeling through the altar. That's going to be another 5 shots. 4 health on the core. That boss is now lethal.
And this game is starting to turn into a real nail-biter here. 6-9. TheOne have held so strongly. Question is, can they maintain that good defense here? The Archon Pure Power is actually really good when it comes to sieging. Muradin should be the focus target for 619 right now.
Yeah, boss is not lethal, by the way. I remembered how to count as we see the shots coming in. We see the pressure coming in, trying to protect that bell tower because there is a Sapper camp on the way. If they can get 2 of these in, then the boss becomes lethal. Zoning Archon, quick stun by Muradin, delays it, but once again, when you're in this mode, you have laser permanently.
Yeah, keep them at bay, keep them away. You're even outranging Hammer at this point, which is pretty cool.
Stay back.
They're even using the BFG on it. It's a great bait.
But Archon Pure Power begins burning through these sappers. All Diablo has to do is to stay alive and let Li Ming melt these. One gets sniped at the end, and none of them make it in.
So what did BTG get out of this? They baited out the BFG, and that was basically it. And they get the bell power back. So you might think it's crazy. I've never seen it before in a situation like this. Normally, you're used to seeing Archon Pure Power when you're sieging up and you're about to win the game, right? To out-siege the defenders. But in a defensive way, it's pretty cool to see that actually doing pretty solid work.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. It's the defensive one. We saw this at Easter Clash, a more defensive style of Archon Pure Powers. Dragon Arrow lands pretty point blank, but 619, I think he realizes that did not work out as a good engage.
Cassia.
The Aegis! Cassia stays barely alive. That Scarlet Aegis 100% saved them, but that Archon keeps the pressure on.
Yeah, and guess what Whitemane is not really good at? It is actually out-of-combat healing, right? She doesn't really have that many reliable, sustainable tool. Bird in trouble, gets surrounded. Doesn't die yet, though. Tries to find LLK here. Misses the Stormbolt, though.
LOK able to avoid that even without teleport here. Starting to micro, gets a good angle on that disintegrate as they begin burning through the members. Tyrande has already taken bot. The health of the One's core is also now down to 5. Both teams dropping low. Ardent Defender coming out here. Members of the One beginning to drop low in hit points as Dahaka looks to sneak away the belter. Sneak away the ulti.
BFG interrupts.
Denied by BFG. And that's going to give time for Huhu to move in. Is he going to try and dive and delay again? Tackle. Good overpower. And that will be 1 health left on the One's core.
They can't touch BTG right now. LK, like a needle, keeps piercing in from the sides. The superior range of the Archon is such a menace, such a thorn in the sides of the One, and they can't seem to pull it out right now. They're still in this game, sitting at 1 HP. That means they're very susceptible. They're very vulnerable to all sorts of core damage. The boss could be lights out. The next altar could be lights out. Even the Belter, if it fell, would be lights out. And are they really willing to commit their entire game just with 1 boss fight?
It's smart, but they should have started quicker, I think. They have to kill this to remove Lethal on the board. Huhu has to play. They have Yrel, who can knock back, but she does not have a heroic Dragon Arrow.
Contagion.
3 members, huge damage. The Contagion, like you said, pops it off here as we see Muradin trying to hold the line. The boss is dropping down. Keshi gets dragged. Yrel onto the point. She gets the knockback. They're trying to hold the line. Muradin gets taken out, and that is GG. BTG takes us to a game number 5.
With a last hooray, Sergeant Hammer tried to get that BFG rolling, but it didn't really matter anymore. Beyond the Game is back into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to game number